This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I am your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Plenty of energy today and looking forward to spending the hour with you. A lot to talk about. Now, fitness is changing and the world is adjusting to the new laws, rules and regulations. But what can Tabata do to help you achieve your goal wherever you are around the world? Some people are facing lockdown, some people are facing restrictions. Well, Tabata might just be your best friend for the next couple of months. Now, we're talking about that. The Premier League has had a lot of action this weekend. Serie A has had a lot of action. Marseille have gone crazy in France. So we're talking about that and also pointing out a few things tactically. Will there be any last-minute transfers? Today is deadline day in the Premier League, so you might see one or two people sneak in and sneak out of the clubs. Lionel Messi's numbers have been released. And what an unbelievable contract he has. We discuss his earnings and his loyalty bonus just to stay at the club. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in on my Instagram live. Siddharth, Sid obviously, Farha, Lara, you've got Almas, Fatima, Maria, Sharath, Fahad, Ayman, Masoud, of course, Coach Nick, congratulations, and everyone else who is locked in. Thank you very much for connecting. I just told Omnia Salah, I said to her, I'm talking about Tabata today, and she's like, what, Tabata? So I'm making sure she's listening today because she wants to know how she can enhance her own fitness goals. So stay tuned on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
We are back. Welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Thank you very much for blessing us with your presence wherever you are around the world, whether it's 95 FM, Pulse95Radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or even if you're watching it live on YouTube, thanks to Super Mario and Gabby. Shout out to my boys in the background. Right. Thank you very much for connecting with me. There's a lot of energy. I've just had my coffee, so we are buzzing after today's workout. Now, on the show today, we're talking about Lionel Messi's crazy contract and how conveniently it got leaked recently, what he's earning. Now, it's not the fact that it got leaked now, it's the fact that who actually released the information, especially as Barcelona are not allowed to sign anyone because they haven't got any money. But he might be leaving soon, and that might be a reason why they can't sign anyone. So we're talking about that later on the show. We're also talking about Tabata. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a Japanese protocol, and it might just be your best friend and a tool you can use wherever you are, whether you're in lockdown in the UK, for example, or here in the UAE where you just aren't comfortable going to a gym. We're talking about Tabata. But before we do that, a quick roundup of what's happening in the world of football right now. Now, it is transfer deadline day at the moment, so we have a lot to talk about, as normally the dealings happen in the last minute on that last day. So a lot of people tune in. Back in the day, it used to be Sky Sports News. Tune into the whole Sky Sports News program over and over and over again until your team signs that player. Okay? Now, for me, I don't think we're going to sign anyone, but you never know. I heard maybe Patrick Van Aanholt. You never know. Let's see what happens with that. But if you know anyone that's signing for sure, 4215 Ittasalat or do, or slide into my DMs and tell me if you heard any last minute signings on who is going to be signing for your club today. Right, okay. Couple of things happened. Zlatan Ibrahimovic missed another penalty. He's missed more than he's scored this season. However, can anyone push Zlatan aside and tell him, hey, big man, stop taking the penalties? I don't think so. I don't think anyone can tell him that. That's one thing. That's in Serie A. Inter Milan win. Eriksen becomes man of the match after being out of favour the whole time. And they are probably the favourites to win Serie A, which is huge because Juventus and a sleeping giant Ronaldo is still there, right? So that's one thing. Ashraf said Omar Al-Duri to Manchester United. Ashraf, you're going to get me in trouble. Almas is saying Messi probably knows that he cannot do well in the Premier League or anywhere. He'll probably do a farewell tour in international Miami. Shots fired. Even Spicy saying Omar Al-Duri to Man United. I don't know why my good friends want me to go to Man United. No, I'm actually good here, and I think Ollie's doing a good job so far. As I spoke to Avram the other day, and he was actually supporting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the other thing is Marseille. Has anyone heard about what's happening in France? Now, Marseille has always been known as a people's club. And sometimes, and I say this sometimes, fans tend to disagree with the ownership, the players, but I've never seen fans break into the training camp, attack the training camp, and run after anyone that's standing. They took the manager's briefcase and threw it everywhere, which is Andres Villas-Boas, if you remember him. They smashed up the training ground, and it was insane. I've never seen anything like that. So in France, it's not PSG that are stealing the headlines. It's actually Marseille. So that is crazy in that side. In the Premier League, Mo Salah answers his critics, and he's still up there on the scoring charts despite not having a good season. He's still up there. He scores 2 great goals. Can we take a moment of appreciation for the ball from Shaqiri, first time? Now, as a coach, normally you think, take your time, don't rush it. He's pinged this ball with his left foot over the top. Salah's taken 1 touch to control, 1 touch to finish, and that was extraordinary. I like it when managers get things right. And why I say this is from personal experience. Sometimes you make a sub and the sub's not happy, okay? So the sub looks at you and goes, coach, come on, man, why'd you take me off? And then something happens right at that second as that player is not happy, and they turn around and look at the coach, and then the coach goes, I told you so. Yesterday, there was a brilliant moment between James Milner, who got substituted for Curtis Jones, and Jones assisted Salah for the goal, and you just saw the moment where they hugged James Milner and Jurgen Klopp. Now, even if you're not into sport, there is a satisfaction of that, which is fantastic. You know, you kind of love seeing players or coaches just get it right, you know, because coaches get a lot of stick and sometimes get unfair abuse, and this was really, really nice to see. UAE League news: Omar Abdurrahman terminated his contract with Al Jazeera. Big stuff. Thanks a lot for that, Hassan, giving me all the information on that. And that's another one, by the way, with Omar Abdurrahman, a talent that maybe we look at and so proud to have him, you know, a UAE national, but would he have enhanced his career playing abroad? Now, that might not be his fault. It could be the clubs just didn't want to let him go. But there's so many things there where I look at players like that, and I would love to see him up against the best in the world. And that's one thing regarding footballers. Now, we spoke about Marseille, what happened in their training ground. We spoke about Zlatan missing a penalty, but who's going to tell him what to do? The Premier League, especially with Manchester City. Now, normally Manchester City and Pep Guardiola's teams are very well known for their attacking prowess. But what has made this extra special this season is they've actually been very good defensively. Now, who would have ever thought that about a team that Pep actually says, why do we need to defend when we can attack? Very, very interesting seeing the way he's really shored up the back line. Stones and Diaz have been outstanding. Stones lost his place for anyone who plays fantasy football, including myself. Pep just messes up fantasy football, yeah. He really does mess up fantasy football for everyone. So if you had that, you're probably mad at him. But yeah, 4215 Taslat Odu. What's the big news coming at the moment now? It's transfer deadline day here. Any football news that you think is going to happen, let me know. We're going to take a break. That was the football roundup. Very, very nice and quick and sharp to the point. The energy's up in the roof. But coming up next, we're talking about a way to get your fitness goals in check, even if you're under lockdown. Tabata is the word. But you're going to have to stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome back to the Halftime Show. It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with me, Omar Adori, in the heart of Sharjah on Pulse 95. Thank you very much for connecting with me today, and some great comments and great questions on the Instagram Live at Omar Adori. Thank you very much, Mustafa, for your kind words. And the Avram Grant Show. God, if you haven't checked that out, head over to the YouTube and check out the interview. He shed a lot of light. And by the way, even those people that weren't into football loved hearing him talk, because he talks a lot of philosophy, he talks a lot of mental strength, he talks a lot about, you know, the psychology behind the game, which I thought that was just fantastic, brilliant, really, really good interview, and he was awesome. Some of the information he gave on that day was fantastic. Right, okay. What is Tabata? Now, for those that don't know, we always have a fitness segment here on the show, and we try to give you a bit of knowledge on how you can take the tools and use them at home. Now, at the moment now around the world, in some places, we are suffering from lockdown. People aren't allowed to go to gyms, etc. And some people are even worried about going to gyms, and rightfully so. they're being careful. So Tabata is a Japanese protocol, and it promotes being efficient in your training under HIIT training. HIIT is high intensity interval training, which you can do at home. You don't need equipment. You can use your own body weight, and how you do it is it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Now, the next question that people normally ask is, what type of exercises can we do in Tabata? So let's give you an example. It's 20 on, 10 off, 8 times. So let's say, for example, we gave you a basic exercise. We said to you, you know what? We're going to do lunges for 20 seconds. We're going to rest for 10 seconds, and we're going to do that 8 times, for example. Now, once that's done, that's about 4 minutes of work on and off. You get to rest, you get to be efficient. And my advice is always plan your workout before you start the session. And the reason why you do that is because you can actually have something which is sustainable. For example, lower body, upper body, core. So you can do one Tabata that focuses on your lower half, one Tabata that focuses on your upper body, and then the third Tabata to focus on your core. And you can kind of rotate and alternate with that. And why that's good is because it helps you be efficient, be in and out, get your training done, and actually use your time wisely. So a lot of people have different things at home. You can have a water bottle, you can have weights, you can have a kettlebell, you can have so many different things that you can kind of play about with. Even if you just have a little bit of space, you can do shuttles, you can even do burpees. Some people love their burpees. You can do burpees, or you can do stairs. So that's kind of my advice. If you even did 20 seconds on the stairs, 10 seconds off, followed by a core exercise. If it's a plank, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, then back onto the stairs 8 times. That is your interval training set. And I thought, now a lot of my friends are back in the UK saying, Omar, we're not allowed out. It's really depressing. What can we do? How can we train? Take a Tabata track. And by the way, they actually have Tabata tracks. So the guy has music playing in the background, but he does the countdown, when to start and when to stop. And for those that know and have been on the reset program, sometimes I play that so you can know exactly when to be in and when to be out, and also how to do things your way. So that's fantastic. Terry's saying 50, 10 by 8 and die. And then she said 20. So there's your Tabata interval. There's so many different things you can kind of play about with. And more than anything, make it fun, make it safe, and just be healthy. You don't have to lift crazy weights. Of course, if you can, great. But sometimes stick to the foundation, stick to the basics, and you will be surprised what kind of workout you can get. And if you have a heart rate monitor on, whack that on, see how you're doing, look at your zones, and from that point, there you have it. That is your workout. Trust me, 4 minutes of work, if you're a fighter, if you're just someone that's a fitness enthusiast, can be a long time. And remember, you only put in and get what you put into it. So basically, if you go in hard and you give your full energy, then all of a sudden you start to feel the benefits straight away. So there you have it. That is Tabata. It's a Japanese protocol. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 8 times. Hope you enjoyed that segment, because coming up next, we're talking about Lionel Messi's bumper contract. $500 million is all I have to say. And can you imagine one person owning $500 million a season? There you go. I've left it with you guys. I'll be right back after this, but enjoy, and I'll see you after this. Peace.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam, welcome back to the Halftime Show. Thank you very much for tuning in with me today. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, Mustafa, man, you make me laugh, man. He's on the Instagram live at the moment. Just reminding me about a couple of great moments we've had. If you missed the show, don't worry. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Angami. Or even if you prefer a visual, head over to the Pulse 95 radio page on YouTube and click on that. All the guests, all the episodes, all the great topics with all of our presenters are on there. Show some love, like, subscribe, and share, and we appreciate it as always. Right, okay. We spoke about a quick roundup of what's happening in the world of sport, football. It's transfer deadline day, so plenty of things might still happen. There's till 11 p.m. UK time. We also spoke about Tabata, and Tabata being a Japanese protocol, which you can do anywhere, even if it's not in a gym. You can do it at home, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and that's your workout for the day. Try and get creative with it, but be safe and be healthy. And right now, everyone is talking about Lionel Messi's leaked Barcelona contract. Now, for those that don't know, Lionel Messi is one of the best players on the planet and also one of the best paid players on the planet. And in doing so, an estimation of how much he earns every season is unreal. Now, it's one thing to get contracts. It's one thing to get a salary. You also have loyalty bonuses, renewal fees. And it got released that his contract is worth a staggering $500 million. And when this got out, it's a bit ironic it got out now because there's a lot of things that are happening at the moment. And Barcelona, obviously, you know, it comes at a very convenient time because Barcelona revealed they were burdened with a 1.2 billion worth of debt, of which 730 million was to be paid in the short term. El Mundo's report went on to reveal that Messi's contract, including a signing-on bonus of 115 million euros for agreeing the contract renewal, and a loyalty bonus, hear this out, 77 million euros loyalty bonus. Now, for those that don't know, the loyalty bonus means just for staying with them a year, he gets 77 million euros. And that's why the twist in that contract, because we normally heard that if he wants to leave after every year, he's free to do so. Now, one of the reasons why you might stay is if you're getting 77 million euros, which means just for staying there, that's what he would get. His contract for 4 years is 555 million euros. Per season, he gets 138 million euros per season, fixed, plus variables, 115 renewal fee, and 77 million loyalty bonus. And Fabrizio Romano reported this on the 31st of January 2021. Barcelona are quite happy that this has come out. Messi and his team are not. And a lot of people are saying they might be sued for that. Additionally, the report highlighted that the Barcelona number 10 has already received more than 510 million of the total figure stipulated in his contract, which is due to expire on June the 30th. Now, if he chooses to stay, he'll only get 77 million. And if he chooses to leave, then he's free to walk away. But I guess it must be also noted that the 6-time Ballon d'Or winner agreed to take a pay cut when the pandemic struck, and he won't earn the exact amount mentioned above. Do you feel any sympathy for the brother? Absolutely not. I can't believe we are talking about Messi taking a pay cut when he earns $500 million. It's insane, but I guess if you are the best player, or at least in the top 2 in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo fans, please don't jump on me yet. And that's what you're getting. And then the second question is, who can afford him? There's plenty of talk of him moving on, coming to Manchester City, going to PSG, or even moving to Syria or Inter Miami. But would he go to Inter Miami if Phil Neville is coach? And no disrespect to Phil Neville, but when you reach Messi's level, you kind of have a say on who you want to play under. So there it is for you guys. Where will Messi's destination be next? Did you know about his crazy contract of what he's getting, $500 million a year, and for loyalty, which means he'll stay there an extra year, he gets 77 million. Shout out to Ghada, Masoud, Fahad, Ayman, Murad, Isa, Fatima, Maria, and everyone else who is tuned in on the Instagram live. I will see you guys after the break. We're going to play some flowers, and then I'll be right back. And if you have any questions, shoot them my way. Here we go.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, from Everything Sport, International, Local. Thank you very much. What a show, man. It's been a great show. I can't believe we're on the final segment already. But I really have to thank everyone who's tuned in on YouTube, on Pulse 95 Radio, or even on our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority. Thank you very much. And by the way, the people on Instagram have been sending in some great comments, and I think this is why this is more than just a sports show. Mustafa, Hatem and Masoud have been having a conversation, and it's about mental health, and they've spoken to me about it here, and I'll share it with you as well, because there's a lot that goes behind the scenes that we don't normally see. And Masoud said, each individual somewhere deals with mental health on their own. It's really important to understand and talk about this, and it's needed most, and that's why we have the show. And I'm so glad that, you know, people like yourself are able to talk about it with me and with everyone. It's great. Mustafa says it's never wrong to talk about mental health, and I have to go on record here and say how at one of my lowest points in my life, Omar was there for me and is always there for everyone. I bow my hat to you every day, brother. Listen, the fact that I'm allowed to share this platform, I'm allowed to be there for people, you know, it's great, because behind the scenes a lot goes on and we don't always talk about it. So when people acknowledge it, it's so nice. You know, I don't really know what to say to that. Thank you very much, Mustafa, for that. That's fantastic. Hatem asks, question, can emotional intelligence be taught? Now, I think with emotional intelligence, I think it comes through mindfulness, it comes through empathy, and it comes through gratitude. And I think maybe schools and education need to have courses on that. However, it comes from feeling an actual experience of emotion. So how do you teach someone young? I think putting that in a syllabus or a curriculum will be good, because you have the whole debate about school teaches you a lot, but it's all theoretical and it's all things that you use for university. But the human side of things is so important, and it's so key to be able to teach the youth and the kids and the children things about emotional intelligence and how people can empathize and how people can feel, and it's okay to feel. And it's not just for females but also for males. You know, there was always this stigma that, you know, men had to be tough, and mental toughness actually comes from being able to express and being able to be emotionally developed. And I think that's a very, very key thing, which is a great question, by the way, Hatem, that you've brought on the show, because we sometimes don't talk about that enough. It's not something that we mention all the time. Terry says it very much can be learnt, but it's about being open to understanding where you may be lacking in certain EQ qualities. It takes openness and understanding. 100%. What's up, Michelle? How you doing? If I had to say self-awareness, Amun's in the building as well, which is fantastic. And that's the thing. It comes down to emotional intelligence. It comes down to awareness of what feelings are, how to be able to listen before you speak, and also take things in. You know, we've often heard about physical abuse, but verbal abuse is just as strong, and it's something that can really, really hinder someone's confidence, their personality, which then doesn't allow them to shine or give to who they need to give to. And I think that's some very, very good points there. So great comments. I told you guys, why do you need a co-host when you got, you know, all these people making great comments? Masoud says, if you want to change the world, you need to work with the youth, because they are the future. Absolutely. And wrapping up on that, what a show it's been. If you have just tuned in and you're mad at missing the show, you can head over to our YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio, and check out the episode. Thanks to Super Mario and Gabby. That's me. I'm done for the day, but I've had such a great time chatting to you guys. Thank you very, very much for spending that time with me. I'm so grateful, and I really appreciate you being on the air with me today. I'm going to play some 504 South. Have a great day, sending love and blessings, and I'll see you back on Wednesday, same time, on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.